On March 15th at about 9:30 p.m., Modesto Police were dispatched to a solo vehicle collision in the area of McHenry and Union. When the first arriving officers got to the scene, they did find, unfortunately, a very serious collision, a vehicle that had left the roadway in front of the Stop and Save convenience store near the intersection. Emergency responders began life-saving efforts for the front passenger in that car, whom we believe at this point to be a female in her 70s. Those life-saving efforts were unfortunately unsuccessful, and she was pronounced deceased here at the scene. The driver of that car, believed to be a woman in her 40s, was transported to a local hospital. Her injuries at this point are not known. So she is undergoing some medical tests to see what the extent of her injuries are. At this point, we believe that involved vehicle, a blue Dodge Neon, was northbound on McHenry. It had just passed the intersection of Union when, for some reason, it left the roadway. It hit the sidewalk and then hit a pole as well as a tree in front of the Stop and Save. Very unfortunate collision, and we hope over the next hour or two we'll be able to collect the evidence, document the scene thoroughly, and the traffic investigators that have been called out to respond hopefully will be able to come to a determination as to why this collision occurred. And at this point, we are also encouraging anybody who may have seen this collision to either contact the Modesto Police Department. The case officer assigned at this point is Officer Rodney Garcia, or they can leave their tip with Crime Stoppers at area code 209-521-4636.
Do you know how fast the car was traveling?
During our investigation, we hope to be able to determine what the speed was prior to impact. At this point in time, it'd be premature to comment, and that will be one of the aspects that we're looking into.
Were there any other cars on the road driving north?
We have initial witness statements that don't indicate that there were any other vehicles involved. We would, of course, like to supplement that information with any other witnesses that may have observed it. And what we've found through the process of investigation such as this is that it's not always what it might seem. And to that end, it would be premature to comment on what caused the vehicle to leave the roadway, but obviously that is our primary, the primary thing that we're going to try and determine in this case.
Do you know what the relationship was between the driver and the passenger?
At this point, we're not going to be commenting on a relationship. To my knowledge, at this point, we only have tentative identifications of both the people involved, and it would be rather insensitive to comment even if we did know at this point. And we have some belief of whether a relationship does exist. However, we want to make sure that those notifications are done in a sensitive manner, and therefore we'll withhold that information at this point.
And it might be early, but does it seem like there might be anything criminal that happened, like drugs, alcohol, anything like that?
At this point, we have dispatched our DUI investigator to the hospital. However, wouldn't want anybody to make an assumption based upon that. In serious and fatal collisions, it is standard procedure for us to look into that angle, whether we have indicators or not, to make sure that we've at least looked into the dynamics that might involve a DUI-related collision. So I've asked that officer go to the hospital, take a look at the driver, but at this point I don't have any indications that was or was not a factor in this collision. It's just too early.